Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're talking about the 5 different types of comic book dealers. These are the people that are selling you the books at your comic book conventions. In my experience, there's been 5 different flavors of these folks. So without further ado, let's talk about the types of personalities and the people you might encounter haggling, trying to get those precious comic books at your convention. So the first type of dealer, we're going to call him Mr. Nice Guy. Characteristics of Mr. Nice Guy are going to be he'll say things like, yeah, I'm a collector too, or he'll have some sort of sob story, about his personal life or his family or some reason why he's selling these comic books, which may or may not be true. One thing a lot of comic book dealers will say and they'll put on their big banners is buy, sell, and trade. This couldn't be farther from the truth. If you guys have followed the channel for any length of time, you will know that if you're bringing books to trade at a comic book convention, not only is that going to trigger a lot of dealers, but you are going to get literally bent over the table and ripped off because they will take advantage of you at any opportunity. As far as selling your books at a convention, good luck. You're going to get half of what they're actually worth, or maybe 40%, somewhere along that way, 50% if you're lucky. So, this whole idea that, they're Mr. Nice Guy, they're here to buy, sell, and trade, that's not the case. To my understanding, in other conventions, that is the case. Sports cards, things like that, they will trade, they want to trade. Mr. Nice Guy usually tries to be your friend. So he's buttering you up. Like he'll be talking to you about, what you like to collect, or pretending like he's also interested. Don't get it twisted. One major theme of the comic book dealer, and one thing I did not understand in the beginning, these people are not collectors for the most part. These are guys that are using comic books as a way to make money. They have the knowledge. They know their first appearances, they know their key issues, and they know their stories and their runs, but I don't think these people are fans. They see this as a way to make money. Mr. Nice Guy will also say things like when he's selling, he'll say, I'm not even making a profit on this. He'll say, I'm taking a loss on this book. And especially now with the market completely crashing, Mr. Nice Guy will say anything to close the deal because he's such a nice guy. The next type of dealer is the prove your worth, or the gatekeeper. So the gatekeeper I had never encountered until heroescon 2023 last year. There are a lot of these guys. There is a type of dealer who you have to prove that you deserve this book. And what I mean by that is, so you say you go up to a dealer and you say, hey, can I see that first whatever? And in my situation, it was the first Haunted Tank. Well, I made a mistake. That was in fact not the first appearance of Haunted Tank. It was the first cover appearance. And that dealer, and he's a very well-known dealer, by the way, he said that's not the first appearance of Haunted Tank. And I said, can I see that first cover of Haunted Tank? And it was in fact not the actual first cover of Haunted Tank. So basically, that dealer, he deemed me unworthy I didn't prove my worth to see that comic, and it shut down all communication. I'm the guy that spends thousands of dollars at these stupid comic book conventions. And to let me walk away from your booth is irresponsible, to say the least. And this isn't like a flex. This isn't like a brag like, oh, I'm coming in there, swinging through like I'm going to spend all this money. I'm just saying, you cannot judge a book by its cover. One of the big things that was at the convention that me and my dad went to was they judged me as the young punk that doesn't have any money, or the person that doesn't want to be there, or is not going to be the one buying. And they saw my dad, an older gentleman. Hey, this is the guy. This is who I'm selling to. I'm gatekeeping the young buck, and I'm selling to the old man. somebody that is not what they think as a ideal customer, don't look the way an ideal customer looks, doesn't dress the way an ideal customer looks, they will judge you. There is gatekeeping for this. This comic book dealer thing is really kind of the old boys club. Anybody that doesn't fit that mold, I think they are going to judge you sometimes, and that they may not sell to you. I think there's gatekeeping on multiple levels with these dealers. The next type of dealer is the best I can do. The best I can do guy will say things like, this book is on consignment, or this book, that's what's selling for on GPA. Whenever they start talking GPA or recently sold, or using they're looking up eBay, they're about to bend you over the table. And there's going to be a lot of bending over the table at Comic Cons, just so you know. Just be prepared for that. They're not called Comic Cons for nothing. A lot of these guys will be the main row aisle guys. So the best I can do guys, they didn't get there just flipping dollar books. The best I can do guys, got there by doing their little spiel of the best I can do a million times over, and they're quite good at it. So, a perfect example of this is, again, the heroescon 2024, where I picked up a Action Comics 252, first Supergirl, and that book was priced at $2,500. I can't remember the grade on it, but basically that book was being sold. And if you want to use GPA and use their game, that book was being sold for like $1,600, $1,700. The gentleman said, that book's on consignment. I can't, there's nothing I can do. The best I could do is like $2,000. And I was scratching my head thinking, let's flip the roles here. If I was the person trying to trade this book or trying to sell this book to you, you think there would be anything like that? No, hell no. Basically, they are basically saying best I can do. This is how dumb so many of these guys are. They are willing to wait and bag that big fish that they can get $2,500 out of, as opposed to somebody standing there, $1,700 cash money ready to roll. They will wait. It is just unbelievable. The next type of dealer, and you got to be careful with these guys, are the wheeler and dealers. Wheeler and dealer guys will have little tricks at their booth. So the wheeler and dealer will have things like 25% off their entire booth, or they'll have colored stickers. So what I mean by that is when you go up and you see your whatever book, it's first Silver Age Captain America or something, and it's like $2,000 for this book, and you're scratching your head thinking, damn, that's way off fair market value. And then you see 30% off the whole booth, and you're like, okay, you're running the numbers, you're calculating it, you're pulling out your abacus or whatever the hell you've got, and you're like, okay, this is maybe on fair market value, but you're in the heat of the moment. The guy's right there. You want this book. You're looking at it, making sure that it is what you want. It is what he says it is. And you look at it and it's like, okay, that might be close. And then you combine it with, it's got a green sticker. Green sticker means 15% off the 40% off total, but half off the market value. And you're like, okay, that... Basically what they're doing is they're basically trying to confuse the consumer, confuse the customer by throwing in additional ideals that you're getting some sort of deal. Don't buy this bullshit. This is not the booth you want to be buying from. If they're having to play those games of the supposed fake deal, you can go somewhere else. Go somewhere else, because this game they play, you're not getting a deal. You're basically getting this book for, if you're lucky, fair market value, but more than likely slightly above fair market value. So the wheeler and dealer has many other tricks, but this is the one that came to my mind. And the last type of comic book dealer is the newbie. The Newbie, this is like their first comic book convention, or they're very green. Like this is where these are the guys on the side aisles. These are not your main row guys. A lot of these guys are collectors, and they're trying to sell like their stuff they don't want anymore, or they're trying to use this money to buy something else. Newbies, also, there's a lot of times they won't be prepared. There won't be prices on their booth, or the prices will be wrong, or they'll be way too high so that you can't buy anything from this dealer because they're just so wrong, or they're way too low because they messed up. The Newbie a lot of times is where you're wanting to go. And unfortunately, this whole game of going to the Comic-Con, and if you don't agree with this, you're just lying to yourself. You're trying to get a deal. You're trying to get one over on the dealer for all intents and purposes. Like, if you have the opportunity to get something for nothing, 99% of people will do that. So when you come up to a Newbie and something, you can tell he's a little green around the gills or something, a lot of people will say, hey, this is my shot. This is my opportunity to get something for cheap, something below fair market value. It's a rough road to hoe going to these comic book conventions, and you have to kind of play this game. It is a cutthroat thing. These people are not your friends. I know a lot of people have had great experiences with comic book dealers, as have I. Some of these guys are very nice guys, and some of them are Mr. Nice Guy. Don't get it twisted. These people are lions. They are laying in wait to try to extract as much money out of a fan, out of the consumer, out of the customer as they possibly can. They are in eyeballs deep from the fees getting into the door, paying to get there, the money, the food, the gas, the hotel, all that crap to get to that place, to get those books in front of you. And they're going to do everything they can to try to get as much money out of you as they possibly can. Just be careful out there, guys. These are the 5 different types of comic book dealers. Let me know what you think. If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.